Welcome back to the live stream for Säkerhet with Säkerhetspodcasten. I'm sitting here with Matthias, Gabriel, and Stefan. Guys, welcome to this little interview session. You guys just got off stage from talking about, smart car forensics, really.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting us. I think it's a very important topic in the world that we live in. Because, if your computer gets hacked, sure, it's a bad scenario, but nobody dies because of that. If a car gets hacked, then people's life could be at stake, especially now that we're moving to a world in which cars are becoming fully autonomous.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys managed to see Salzburg's talk yesterday.
No, we were in a different conference yesterday and came here at midnight.
He basically talked a lot about different techniques for fooling sensors and really messing with the car. But you guys focus more on sort of dumping and extracting the data that's actually in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting aspect as well.
And the target was, if I understood it correctly, was your car, Gabriel.
Yeah, it was my car. I like to experiment everything.
It's convenient when you have a target in your vicinity,
Although it's unfortunate if you brick it.
So what was the scope? So what was your target? What did you aim at?
So we were basically aiming to stop it in its tracks. That was the initial target. But as we progressed, we discovered that there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to this specific smart car forensics part. So we could have, I guess, if we insisted long enough on actually spoofing, sending messages on the CAN and all that, but it's really interesting what your car knows about you that you don't know about yourself, that you're storing there, that all of the data that you're putting there. So I guess the main motivator would be, when you buy your car, you know everything about the engine, everything about the brakes, about how it behaves, all of the specifications, but you don't know about the infotainment system that you get. You don't know about the whole cyber part of your car.
It's a black box.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, it's a black box that's full with unpleasant surprises from a security point of view.
Yeah, you mentioned at the end there, you mentioned that perhaps we should have some sort of Euro NCAP rating from a security perspective as well.
I have to admit that's not our idea. It came up after we talked with a journalist who writes for Drive Mag. So he's a cars automotive journalist. But it seems like a very good idea, because if you look at the history of the automotive industry, they have a history of regulating themselves, of accepting regulation and implementing safety mechanisms by default for every car that you buy. Because you don't go to buy your car and then you buy brakes separately.
That would be...
So
that's the bonus package.
I wouldn't like in the future to buy a car and then go to a different shop to buy an antivirus for my car. I want the car to come with really good security.
Well, I guess that's the thing. We've been focused on safety for so long, we kind of forgotten about security.
Yeah, but when you think about it, we have the chance right now to influence the industry, because it's just emerging. The whole smart car domain is just emerging for about 10 years or something like that. Let's say 20, because in the academia field they were discussing it already. But we have the chance to set up a secure platform as we speak, and that's when we need to act, basically, to raise the flags and warn everybody about the dangers of not implementing secure development practices.
By the way, another thing that we're trying to do with our talk is to make some sort of call to action towards the security community. So hey, if you're watching this podcast, you might want to try car hacking yourself. Because with most cars and with most infotainment systems out there, things are not very complex, not very complicated. It's just very simple Linux computers that everything runs on root. We actually forgot to say this in the presentation. There was no hardening, there was no separation of processes. Everything ran on root. So if you manage to pawn one little part, then you get
the entire thing. So
as I was saying, the hardware is really old and is susceptible to attack techniques that are about 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned even in the case of the Bluetooth stack, it was so old that some of the new attacks weren't even viable.
It was a completely different stack implemented by them. So it was
I'm interested in a thing you mentioned. Basically, your initial vector was the USB driver, the auto run script. Can you tell us a little bit about how that worked?
So initially it was exploited by the guys who are trying to add their own applications on the car's dashboard, change the dashboard's color or background, basically try to bypass DRM for the navigation data. And from what I understood from various sources, they would be using that script to download information from the car. So it was used by the guys doing servicing for the car.
Okay.
And they had this really cookie cutter script that would pull all of the logs from the car, put it on the stick, name it in a special way. It's still on the forum. This information is still on the forums. Insert the stick, and when the car would boot up, when it would mount the drive, it automatically it would execute that said script. Now, in the meantime, they actually patched this vulnerability because they thought it was the solution. The problem is that they didn't patch the root cause, which would be keeping all of those dumps of your phone database and all that, all of the tools, open source tools that they're keeping there to facilitate you exfiltrating data. They didn't remove those, and they still left the serial console open. So you can still do the attack, but it's just a little bit harder. You need a physical device to just touch some contacts and launch the...
Okay.
I wonder how common that is for different OEMs. Like, if they use something similar. I suppose a lot of maintenance shops probably go in with the ODB port.
Yeah, the ODB. So it's only for debugging, I guess, development versions. That shouldn't have reached production.
No.
I mean, whenever the infotainment system would be broken, they wouldn't use this technique at the servicing shop. They would send it all the way over to the warranty guys, and then they would do the debugging and all that.
Yeah, sure.
So this was just legacy stuff left there.
Well, it's a problem we see everywhere. It's not unique for cars.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just that cars are harder to update.
Yeah, exactly.
I think one of the main reasons that security research in the automotive field is sort of left back is because not everyone has a spare car they can hack.
That's true. That's true. Actually, in the beginning of our project, we managed to brick Gabriel's infotainment system, so we had to take the car back to the repair shop. Fortunately, the car was still in warranty, and Gabriel told them that the lightning struck the car, and that's why the infotainment system is not working anymore.
But worst case scenario, if you're a hacker, especially with the lower prices when it comes to cheap programmers and all that, you can definitely solve any issues that you might put your car into by yourself, basically. It will take some time for you to get all the parts, but it's not gonna take, I don't know, a couple of €1,000. Which is the price of the whole infotainment system.
Even if you brick it, I would like to be the one to brick my own car instead of somebody else bricking my car. Right?
True.
I mean, brick yourself first.
Exactly.
so
That's a very good tag. Yeah. But then again, let's say you have a car and your family is sort of dependent on using that car each day. It was still a bit inconvenient.
I just remember when we were flying to some security conference and we accidentally bricked the infotainment system on the plane. That was a bit...
I'm sure it wasn't accidentally.
No. Well, the bricking part was. The hacking wasn't. But that's not really a space where you want to reboot.
I know. I bricked my in-flight entertainment system at one point, and there was just this blank screen that was turning on and off at random times. So I couldn't get any hour of sleep during the 4 hours.
You see? Inconvenient.
Yeah, I mean...
We need better test rigs.
Definitely. Let's buy an airplane.
Yeah. I mean...
Okay, guys, this is a really good talk, and I recommend everyone to go to the SecT live stream to watch it, and it will be on YouTube soon as well. Do you guys have anything you want to plug before we go?
Break out of your bubble.
Right.
Break out of the bubble.
Right, this is actually a good point. Let me try to quickly explain it. Like, what we realized doing this automotive security project is that the security world and the automotive world are two separate bubbles, and we don't communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And this is a problem that the cybersecurity industry has generally. Like, we all agree with each other that everything is vulnerable, that everything can be hacked, that there's no 100% security. But these messages only bounce themselves inside the cybersecurity bubble, and they never actually reach the developers of those systems who are which are vulnerable. So I think this is something that we need to work more as a community.
Yeah.
People need to
Bridge
reach
those
out
gaps.
from both sides, probably.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, well, you heard it here first. Go brick yourself. And until next time, thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you for inviting.
Thanks for a great conference.
Thank you.